Hello everyone. With the currently ongoing Steam Summer Sale, as well as Hades' upcoming console launch, there are a lot of people looking into buying the game right now. You have likely heard a ton about the game, seeing as Hades is the second best rated game on Steam right now, but you might not know if it is something you would enjoy. My job today is to give you the information you need to make an informed purchase. Hades, as you might have seen, is a roguelike. Well, what is a roguelike? At its core, a roguelike is a turn-based dungeon crawler with procedurally generated levels and permanent death. Doesn't sound like your kind of game? Luckily for you, pretty much every game you've heard referred to as a roguelike is in fact a roguelite, meaning it has some features characteristic of roguelikes, but not all. You'll run into different opinions on what these terms really mean. Supergiant Games, the developers of Hades, referred to their game as a roguelike, though that might be because rhymes are really nice for marketing. Really, the only thing these games all share is a run-based structure. You start a run, get as far as you can, but then you die, or go all the way and win, at which point you are returned to the hub world. If you die, you don't respawn nearby, at the beginning of the biome or floor, nothing. You'll lose nearly everything you collected. There are no checkpoints. This sounds really punishing, right? Maybe you're more of a casual player and you don't want to play a game that's really difficult. Well, Hades, and most roguelites nowadays, have what's called meta progression. This means you can get certain items in run, called meta currency, that will stay with you after death, which you can then use in the hub world to become permanently stronger. Hades' meta currencies are gemstones, darkness, keys, nectar, diamonds, ambrosia, and titan blood. This is the House of Hades, the game's hub world. Here, you can spend gems at the house contractor to provide bonuses like fountain chambers. You can spend any darkness you receive in a run at the Mirror of Night, which will upgrade your character. You can use keys to unlock new weapons you can choose for runs. You can gift nectar to just about anyone you see, and get a keepsake in return, which you can equip for a variety of bonuses. These are just the spoiler-free meta progression systems. There are more once you get further in the game. Hades starts off as difficult as other roguelites, but as you progress further and further in the game, all of the meta progression systems will start to kick in, and after enough time, the game will be much easier. Finally, if you are still worried about the difficulty, Supergiant Games has included a toggle in the settings called God Mode that increases your damage resistance every time you die. With God Mode and enough practice, I'm confident anyone can complete a run of Hades. Another reason I've seen many people cite for disliking roguelites is the inherent RNG, or randomness if you prefer, in runs. In games like Enter the Gungeon or Dead Cells, if you're an average player, it can be quite difficult to win unless you get strong weapons or synergistic item combinations. Many people dislike that and feel cheated if they keep getting bad equipment. Hades does have in-run RNG, as all roguelites do, but it offers ways to control it far more than most of these games. Are you looking for a specific god because you love their boons? Well, equip that god's keepsake and they'll be the next boon you run into. Not offered the boons you want? Well, reroll them and find something better. This allows you to shape your build much more purposefully than most other roguelites, which is a huge plus in my opinion. There are also numerous decisions you can make before starting a run that can drastically affect how the run plays out, like changing your weapon. Basically, rather than relying on RNG to make the game infinitely replayable, Hades has tons of powerful builds that you can work towards even before starting a run. So, that about covers what you need to know gameplay-wise, but Hades is much more than just its gameplay. Numerous reviews and articles I've seen have praised the art style, voice acting, music, atmosphere, and general presentation of the game. These features aren't really quantifiable, and everyone has different opinions on the ideal presentation of a game, but if these reviews tell me anything, it's that people love these aspects. If you're not sure you'll enjoy these parts of the game, watch the first episode of a playthrough of Hades. The polish you'll see there is evident throughout the entire game. Now, if you're the kind of player that looks for more story-based adventures, this is probably the only roguelite that has ever attracted your attention. By and large, the genre focuses on creating a compelling gameplay loop that is nearly infinitely replayable. The core gameplay mechanic, permadeath, also makes it difficult to create a story that really makes sense with the gameplay. This, combined with the fact that most roguelites are made by indie companies with limited resources, means that there really haven't been any story-driven roguelites before. As has been the pattern with this video so far, Hades is the exception to the rule. The story is quite compelling with many interesting character dynamics. The game follows Zagreus, the son of Hades and the prince of the underworld. Rather than being content with his lot in the underworld, Zagreus is determined to escape and find his mother. Once you complete a run, you'll be even more incentivized to complete more just to see how the story develops. Once the story does eventually conclude, there is an optional epilogue with more story to experience if you wish. Still, you will die many times in your journey, but dying in Hades really isn't much of a setback. Upon death, you are returned to the House of Hades. Here, there are tons of NPCs that you can talk to and develop relationships with. Many of these characters have side quests, where after reaching a certain relationship level with them, they'll ask you for a favor. The progression of these side quests isn't at all related to the main narrative, but it can unlock useful features to aid you in your quest. As you're doing all of this story stuff, the characters will react to you in very believable ways. When you reach an area further than you've ever been before, some characters will congratulate you on it. Others will commiserate with you when you die, and will try to offer you advice. Having this sort of reactionary dialogue after you perform certain things makes the game feel more immersive. Hades includes over 20,000 individual voice lines, which is remarkable, even considering observations made by Zagreus and the omniscient narrator Supergiant Games is renowned for. Now, I've logged about 600 hours in Hades and have loved roguelites long before Hades was on my radar. The moment I saw this game, I knew I was going to love it. However, most people interested in video games aren't crazy about everything roguelite related like I am. I have plenty of friends I've recommended the game to that aren't into roguelites, and I've watched as they slowly fell in love with the game. If there's anything about this game that interests you, I'd recommend you give it a shot. I hope you've gotten the information you need to decide if Hades is a game worth buying for you. But if you want others' opinions on the matter, I recommend heading over to the Hades subreddit, linked below, and asking there. I'm going to continue creating Hades content with a focus on beginner guides, so please subscribe if you're interested. Thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic day.